on Thursday, 20th October. My name is Isaac Red. I have a lot of good news for you. And I'm here to give you the good news. I like good news. I like good news. And good news is coming your way from around Liberia. Welcome to the Bumper Show. We'll be here until 5 o'clock to give way to the legislature when the House of Representatives program comes on. Meanwhile, Melvin Stewart produces my sound. My social media account is Anthony Williams. Welcome to the show. My name is Isaac Red. And so we are here today. We will talk briefly to our correspondents, two of our correspondents from rural Masurado County. George Colley is telling us about an angry group of residents in rural Masurado that are calling for the removal of the hospital staff following the death of their colleague. Why? We'll talk to George Colley. In Gbarnga County, construction work has begun for a new market ground. Construction work in Tiaman's Town, Fatu Administrative District. That's Gbarnga County. So Paul Ramsey will fill us in with more on that. Welcome to the show. So you'll be surprised. We didn't do all the publicity about guests, but sure you have a good show. We have a Liberian journalist. We'll be looking at development in the countryside, and he is in Central Liberia. My guest about telephone this day is also the United Party Vice Chairman for Youth Affairs, and I heard he's being elected as the National Youth Chair, Toga Mervyn Sippers. He's from the United Party. We'll be talking about his goal. I'll talk to him in a couple of minutes. But in studios is Moses Billy. Moses Billy is a Liberian journalist, development journalist. He's a State Department fellow, and we will be talking the issues in the countryside, maybe the bread and butter issue, how our people are faring, what the expectations are from the people about the government. So the government should listen to the people. The government's going to listen to Moses Billy, and he's going to be on the radio here this wonderful Thursday afternoon. But before we bring in Cephas or we bring Moses Billy in studios, let me just read a couple of trending issues in the news. The National Bar Association of Liberia has disqualified Nambola Sengwe lawyer for US 380 unpaid license fees. The lawyer for Nambola Sengwe didn't pay $380, so they disqualified him. So let me just get a gist of this. Joseph P. Gibson, Councillor Gibson, lead lawyer representing the Secretary of the Liberian Senate, Nambola Sengwe, in an ongoing $20 million action of damages of defamation levy against lawsuit at the civil law court, could be disqualified from the case. The Liberian Bar Association confirmed that Gibson has not paid his regular law license fees and other fees, which sum up to $380. I'm sure he can pay that quickly so that he represents his client, Nambolo Singwe. 2023 national budget may not pass before January. Why? Senate Pro Tempore Abachi has ruled out swift passage of the draft 2023 budget, saying issues of macroeconomic stability and control public sector spending will delay the passage. Chia's warning means the legislature works on the budget, which President George Weah is expected to submit in the next couple of weeks, will be finished by January 2023. Man chops wife to death. That's in my own native Bong County. Let me read this. So bad. I like good news, but the other news is in good news from Bong County. Police in Bong County are currently investigating a farmer identified as Kokolo Bankole for allegedly chopping his wife to death. Report says Noah Dennis was allegedly chopped to death around Massaqua's farm between District Number 3 and 5 in Bong County. Victim Noah Dennis was discovered on Tuesday, October 18, lying in a pool of blood with deep lacerations on her neck around the kitchen of her farm. Bad news for Melvin Stewart, Bong County. Bad news for Melvin Cole, Bong County. Bad news for Moses Billy, Bong County. the last one here before we go to Moses. EPA launches NDC's implementation plan. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has launched Liberia's revised nationally determined contribution and its implementation plan. Speaking on Tuesday, 18 October in Painesville, EPA Executive Director Professor Wilson K. Tappe said, as you may be aware, our country is endowed with 6 major wetlands of international importance, all of which play an important role in the ecosystem. ELBC Radio, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we will join our man, Cephas, the United Party newly elected, I don't know what he's elected or elected, United Party youth chairman. We'll talk to him briefly, then we come to Moses at 6:15. There's a conversation with Toga Mervin Cephas. Let's take this break.
$20, $50, and $100. I can pay using mobile money. Oh yeah, no problem. Let me take my phone. Chef, I get you. That body food you using, we rob them on the see all my me and them a smartphone. They can do everything. I can Facebook, WhatsApp, Coco. I can use mobile money and all. But I get different phone for all I want now. My child, don't get you say hi and try that set it by me.
Don't star 352 hash for data that lasts longer. Data that life.
MTN.
Hey yo, what's up back for me, LIB man?
T-Brash, that you? Hey, what are you for you, man? I'm surprised because most of you can't call your friend when you go to America.
Come on, man. I told you I'll make the difference, girl. By the way, I need to send you some cash, but heard that the banks are closed today in LIB.
You sleeping? That bro come to another level. You can send your script on my phone.
Receive money from your family and friends in the US directly into your Orange Money wallet. Yes, you heard me right. Tell your loved ones to download the BNB or Small World money transfer apps or visit their websites to begin transferring. Visit www.orange.com.lr for more information. Free for sender until 30th November. Brings you closer to what matters.
Welcome back.
Orange.
Welcome back to the Bumper Show. This is ELBC Radio. We're trying to get to Paul Ramsey so that we can talk about the situation in Grand Jita County. Meanwhile, we will be shortly trying to reach to Togas Cephas, the United Party newly elected youth chairman, has his party settled the quagmire or the rigmarole about the youth chairmanship in his party, that now he's elected as the youth chairman, and how he worked with his colleagues who had interest in the job after the convention ended in Bong County without an election of a youth chairman. They met in Gbarnga, Bong County sometimes in July without electing a youth chairman. The United Party came to Monrovia, and who knows whether they set it in-house or whether for final stand aggrieved. So let me get good afternoon, Toga.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ray.
So how come you should have gone to convention to elect a youth chairman now? We're hearing you are being preferred. Was it an election or a consensus decision?
No, it was an election. We went to Gbarnga. We went to the youth convention in Gbarnga, national convention.
Go ahead.
Protest against one of the candidates, and we know this is a democratic process, and every democratic process you go into, you are governed by rules, and we won the convention by the rules, and we have moved past that. We are now focused on ensuring that Ambassador Joseph Yemabuaka is the next president of this country.
Are you considering the news that you were elected not in Gbarnga but then in Monrovia, and it was not publicized?
Chief, the process was publicized, and it was agreed by the convention so that the investigation can go on. The process went as the national youth chairman. And since then, director, there have been no concerns from any of the party that shows that we are moving focus on sitting the now notorious President George Gbarnga.
Oh, your concentration is to make sure. Hello? Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm getting it.
Your concentration is to ensure that Joseph Boyka is elected, and then in your word, notorious President George Weah. You think that's a fair?
We notorious president.
You think that's a fair way to call the sitting president?
There
Hello?
are two ways in which people. Yeah, there are two ways in which people can be known. You can ask for the right reason. When you are known for the right reason, they call you popular. They call you notorious. Right now in Liberia, President Weah is known for the wrong reason. He's known for corruption. He's known for harm.
So you just got elected to be. You just got elected to be known. To be known is to find some foul languages or from some foul words and say, "Oh, the youth chairman."
No, but Chief, Chief, that's the fact. You know that.
Who told you that's a fact?
We are not making up stories here. So that's it.
You,
Weah is not known for the wrong reason. I'm giving you some of those reasons for which he's known.
and everybody listening to you,
He
because
have been aiding and abetting rape cases in his country.
but bossman, hello sir, hello.
Yes, sir, Chief.
Everybody listening to you is hearing that you are the new youth chairman, so they like to know your plans and program to get your party to win elections. But you're deviating, and now you're being sarcastic on the president. So
Our focus.
is that what's going to give you votes?
Plan, Chief, we got a singular plan in the National Youth Congress, and that plan is to ensure that President Weah is removed from the executive mansion.
What are you doing to get President Weah out of the executive mansion? What are you doing?
We are mobilizing the young people across the country. Just the other day, we were in Kakata, Bong County, and talking to young people there. Over the weekend, we were in Bapolo.
Is mobilization part of putting together fake videos that President Weah training people in Grand Jida?
Chiefs, when we were in Gbarnga, when we were in Bong County, when we were in Maki, the other day, we were talking to the voter. Bapolo County, where the non-citizen official of government in Matano Magi is from, we went there. We got a huge welcome.
Or those people who the vice president referred to an opportunity squandered. Those people who know that the opportunity was squandered, the people who now are coming back to you say, "Look, we'll give you another opportunity," right?
Chief, this is why the Unity Party-led government built integrity institutions were there to provide check. At the LDCC, there were reports. When President Weah took over this country in 2018, there were corruption reports at the LDCC. Instead of President Weah ensuring to implement those reports, all he did was he said the Unity Party government did 80%. That shows that the man is not sincere to fight corruption. So now you have taken over this country as president. You did not audit the past government, but you want to take that to 2017 as a campaign message.
How is former Vice President Joseph Boyka health?
I'm sure you listened to him last night.
No, listening to him is one thing, and battling.
For 3 hours.
Yeah.
Where he addressed the nation for over 3 hours, and
he spoke for over 3 hours.
Yes, over 3 hours. Follow the live video. It was on social media.
All right.
It was carried on live 3 hours. The former vice president addressed the nation. The current president cannot talk that long. You hear myself?
So it suggests that he has got his battery recharged.
Chief, the former vice president and the next president of the Republic of Liberia is
all right,
and strong and ready to lead this nation after 2023 elections.
All right, it's a pleasure. I didn't get the answer on how you got elected, though. You said everybody agreed, but
Chief, I got elected. I won by the rules.
Oh, on what ballot? On what ballot?
Obviously.
Oh, all right.
Obviously, I won by ballot.
Cephas, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Toga Mervin Cephas, newly inducted or selected or elected or selected youth chairman of the Unity Party here on ELBC Radio. At least he agreed to talk to us. Some of the Unity Party people will say they don't take our calls. We don't put Unity Party on the radio, which is not true. But this video is for everybody. Just be as respectful as you can in your choice of language, and we take you on and hear your points and hear your side of the story. The Liberian people decide at the ballot box, October 2023. The bumper show here, and I have now to deal with Moses Billy. Moses, you just welcome to our ELBC Live studios.
Thank you, a veteran, Mr. Isaiah, someone I listened to.
Right now.
Yes, back in Gbarnga, from the voice of Gbarnga, and I'm happy to come here on a very short notice so that we can have some conversations. This is actually my second time coming here.
All right.
I was here in February of this year when we published a report of an investigation that we did in Bong, 3 civil society organizations on the management of the county development funds. So we were here with Vavle. But I want to say thank you to the new management of the state radio, our own sister Esther Liberty, and all of you. I think we sit back in Gbarnga, we watched the live, and I just drove the right way or the wrong way in here. I see complete pavement. I mean, this is unprecedented. We didn't see these things. I mean, I really want to say thanks to the management here. You guys are doing awesome job here. When we come here, we need to say that. Look at the studio. I think back in the days when you're listening to EFBC, you hear all kind of sounds.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It's good to be here.
And I just seen you since you came back from the United States.
Oh yeah.
How was it there?
It was good. I was actually in Rhode Island. I left in July, and I came back in August. It was a really short visit. I had gone to attend the United Bong Citizens Conference. In Bong has a lot of people in America, and they have this national organization.
Mm-hmm.
So annually, they have engagement, meaning their convention. They send for people from here to go there. And I was one of the lucky persons, Is
that your second time there?
This was actually my third time to the U.S.
Okay. One time was the U.S.
My first time to the U.S. was in 2018, and I went there as guest of the U.S. State Department as a fellow of the Edo Aromaru's program for investigative journalism. I was there for 3 weeks, and I learned basic journalism and the way the American media works and things like that. So, and then in 2019, I also went to the U.S. We have the Liberian Agricultural Journalist Network, my boss Jefferson Mansa, who actually was very instrumental in establishing that organization, and as partnership manager for the organization, is a member organization of the International Federation of Agricultural Journalists, the IFAJ. And so based on the work we've done here, we were invited in 2019 to attend the conference, the global conference of the IFAJ in Minnesota. And at that conference, we won a global award as one of the youth leaders in promoting agricultural journalism around the globe. So that was actually my second time to the U.S. This year was the third time.
How has your experience in the USA for training or ordinary visit impacted your work since you've been back here, especially in the area of agricultural journalism?
Well, the experience is good. It has helped me to elevate the voices of locals with regards to agriculture. It also has helped me, especially the IVRP, to do more investigative journalism, to help other colleagues who are coming up, to do more empirical in the work that we do as journalists, because so much depends on us as journalists. I mean, a country like us, Liberia, people believe in the radio. I mean, those who are listening now in Binikwale, in Bauta, whatever the radio says, that's what they go by. And so as media people, we should actually exert all efforts so that we put quality in the work that we do. And so all these experiences, they've all just helped me to try to put more quality in the work that I do as a journalist, so that the results kind of help to actually strengthen our democracy, inform people about what exactly it takes, as a journalist to work in the country. And so these experiences are so good. And I feel very good every day I share with my colleagues in the media and the different communities that I work in. Yeah, so these experiences have really been good.
Moses Billy, a Liberian journalist based in central Liberia, and talking about his experience and how it impacts his work in Liberia. Your organization, you work with civil society in central Liberia.
Sure.
So what do you do as a journalist and then with civil society? You're digging deep?
So a lot of things we do in civil society, we help to inform our people, similarly in journalism, about the issues of democracy, because the different principles of democracy, the citizens must be aware about these principles, and they also need to be aware about their role in the democratic processes. So we try as much as possible in these communities and in the county to inform the people about their role, what is it that they need to know about how the democracy is working for them and their own responsibility. Because even if we elect a government, Mr. Ray, the people we elect and put them in the government, they don't come from Pluto or they don't come from heaven. They come from the different communities. They come from the churches. They come from the mosques. They come from the African traditional religions. And so if these people are informed and they know exactly what democracy is, what they actually should be doing, then we should not be having a problem. So our work has been devoted to capacity building, to civic education on cross-cutting issues in the country.
Well, in introducing yourself, when you mentioned coming to the station for the third time or second time. And you talk about commenting on projects. You were here to discuss. You were investigating some projects, unfinished projects. Is that what?
We did that. We did that ever since. That was last year. We published the result.
So, how has it been any difference? Now you go around looking for unfinished projects, whether it's at Topman time or Taylor time or Doe time or Weir's time or Ellen time. You publish it. Does that in any way ring a bell to public officials that, look, we've been watched, we've been monitored? When we have funds for public projects, we should ensure that it is completed and all the money we get for it should go into the projects?
Exactly. And from the work we did, and I'd like to also appreciate Mr. Aaron Juakole of the Foundation for International Dignity, find Senior Brother Jesse Ko of Delta Human Rights Foundation, and our own little institution, the Media and Civic Education Rural Liberia. So the two of us collaborated, and we investigated how some little over $2 million, was used on projects from the 2018 county sitting. And that report is there, it's online today. There's a video documentary to that, 1 hour video documentary to that. And there's also a narrative report that is online. A lot of people have followed that. So that report clearly, we don't want to go into detail, but it has actually shaped a lot of things. And another thing we did as civil society organizations in Bong was to take the lead. When President George Weah came into power in 2018, one of the laws that he faced his signature to sign is the Local Government Act. Mm-hmm. And that Local Government Act is very good because it would decentralize power, meaning the counties will have county councils. The county councils will be responsible to come up with a budget for the county for the year to operate. They will also do a lot of things. They will make decisions about roads. Where should roads be? Where should new schools be? So this law has been signed and is a law. It's been on the shelf. There's nothing has been going with this. So when the leadership of Bong County decided to go to a county setting, the county setting thing, it was a budget law that happened before, and it should be before. But now that the Local Government Act is coming into full swing, we should have a different way to do the thing. Mm-hmm. All these things should be channeled through the county council. And as civil society organizations in Bong, we felt that nothing was happening about the Local Government Act. And so when our leaders, the COGOS, the county authority, when they pull out announcements for county sitting, we said, hey, this is good. We are all working together to improve the system, but I think you people are in the wrong. And they said, no, we're not in the wrong. We said, there should be a constitution of the county council that should direct these things. And then they said no. So we said, okay, let's go to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And we went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court interpreted that they should set up the county council. And as we speak, amongst the 15 counties in Liberia, Bong is at the moment almost concluding setting up the county council. So
what about other component? The council is county council is one component of the law. The other components, revenue sharing.
Oh, the revenue cost sharing bill.
And the one about the election of the superintendent. Will all that be apply?
No. So for now, those ones are being worked on. The revenue cost sharing, it's being worked on by the legislature to see how those things can be done. But that doesn't mean that we can start up with the framework, because this morning the U.S. ambassador was here, and I was in Gbarnga and I listened to him religiously. He said the issue of decentralization is still a little bit of challenge. We need to decentralize powers in the country. If you have, because for example, Bong is a concession county. We have a seller method that is contributing $500,000 annually. We have other companies, the MNG Go and other companies. So the monies that are paid to the county in county social development funds, these funds go directly to the consolidated account of government, to the pool fund, straight here to Monrovia. I mean, there are many stories that Bong has not been able to directly access these funds because of the complexity in getting the funds. If the fund comes here, there are different computing interests. But under the arrangement of the Local Government Act, I mean, and other arrangements, that money should go directly to the account of Bong County, so that the county council and the citizens of Bong can make direct decisions as to when they should have the money and what they should use, or when they should use their money. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and that decision of the CSOs in Bong County to reach out to the Supreme Court for an interpretation with regards to the enforcement of the Local Government Act was very unprecedented. And all counties are now learning from Bong. Every day our phones are ringing. Hey, how you guys manage? We want to follow your footsteps and things like that. The civil society and the media.
So the work you're doing, other people appreciate and they want it replicated in the counties.
Sure.
So have your cause or your work put a spotlight on projects and making the government to say, look, we need, people are watching. Like at one time I monitored you folks in Gbarnga on the Bong Community College.
Sure.
President Weah has put some money into it.
So the BCTC started back in 2010, just in case some people may not know. That college started back in 2010. Up to now, it's not yet finished. That was during the unity part. There are a lot of monies that went into it. There were reports, there clear evidence that there was some mismanagement with that. When President Weah took over, in his campaign message, the David Queen Sports Center I was actively practicing at the time. One of the promises he made was to complete the BCTC, to complete the pavement of streets in Gbarnga. So, yeah, fast forward since 2018, we understood that $900,000 was allotted to the facility to see whether they can be able to fast track it. And then a couple of days ago, the president died to Rhoda Massacre was on the local radio stations saying, yeah, they received some considerable portion of that money. And the completion is well on course. They're doing some work there.
Have you gone there to see it?
I've been there. I mean,
and what's going on?
Yeah,
okay.
Work is actually going on there. They're doing some work, but it's very slow because the thing is that is the only public higher institutional learning in Bong County
and Central Liberia.
In Central Liberia, and with the location of that place, if that college is completed, it could help a lot of young people to learn
from the neighboring counties.
Even now, even though it's not even completed, we'll have a lot of folks, a lot of young people from other counties. My colleague Franklin Dolokwi is a student of the BCTC. He comes from Nema County.
Wow.
Yes. So Lofa, there are people from all over. So it will be very important because that project actually started as a county social development funds project. It's quite funded from the funds of Bong County. And at a certain point in time, 2018, it was evident that the country could not afford to do that. So the national government said, well, we could do it.
We'll step in.
Yeah, we'll step in. But the step in has been really slow. It's good that the 900,000 is available now, and the work is going on. A portion of that money is available, evident by what the president said, and the work that is going on there.
Moses Bill is our guest. We haven't forgotten. We'll have to reach out to George Colley in Lower Maserado or Rural Maserado. We'll also try to reach to Paul Ramsey. And Paul, Grandjida, I know how you feel. Everything has been done with excessive speed to get Grandjida Radio back on soon. So, the roles and then supply of fuel oil has been a difficult thing or a challenge. But management is addressing that as quickly as possible so that you get back on. We're trying to reach to Paul or to George. We will come to Moses. He talked about agriculture. We know Bong County position when it comes to growing food, also in competition with Nimba and Lofa County in food production. How much, especially when people are responding to the crisis of rice, and how do we prepare ourselves so that rice, when it gets finished, you have some alternatives. ELBC Radio, George, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon to your listener this afternoon.
Rural Maserado. How's Rural Maserado?
Well, rural Maserado County is doing relatively kind. We are experiencing good weather.
Before we go to citizens and some angry people calling for the removal of our medical staff, give me a graphic description of Rural Maserado. When we say Rural Maserado, what's the business and bounds?
Well, if you're talking about rural Maserado County, you're talking about rural Maserado County borders Makiri, Bong County, and Wapolu, and that are for forming counties. And then we have for 7 separate distinct clans, and that are for one township that make up rural Maserado County. And then this place is made up of 2 sanitary districts, Kirisbury and that are for 2 sanitary districts making up this district.
So it means that you go as far as Gileashland, or you go to Cruiserville, you go Bensonville, you go to Arlington, all that is Rural Maserado?
Well, per my own geographic location, although Arlington is in District 17, but sometimes I have the chance to use the route. There's a shortcut from Harrisburg to District 17 in Maserado County, so bulk of the time I report from District 17.
How's the road between there?
Yeah, sometimes we get a shortcut director strictly from where you have the hydro, the NC hydro. You just pass through, you pass across the seaport, and you are in Arlington City.
All right, so let's go to quickly. Angus residents in Rural Maserado are chasing a medical staff out of the hospital because of the death of one of their colleagues. Explain that. Why would they want to chase somebody out of the hospital?
Well, the information is quite correct. That occurred about 2 weeks ago, and that occurred in the Bensonville area, which happens to be the capital city for Maserado County. And the hospital we're discussing is the Bensonville Hospital. And this, again, it started as a hospital quite recently. First, it was a clinic, and then it's the only referral hospital.
Why are the citizens chasing this medical staff?
Yeah, their request is that bulk of the time when it comes to those basic services had not been ramped up to our citizens, because this guy, this is the third of this kind, according to their spokesperson that spoke with during the incident. The first one happened to be a big pregnant woman, the second one was a young man, and the third one happened to be this guy, a cyclist. He was involved in a very tragic motor accident along the ride between Bensonville and Alabama, Kirisbury. And around by 9 to 10 o'clock p.m., this guy was taken to the Bensonville hospital to see how bad he can be catered to. But to their greatest disappointment, according to them, upon their arrival, doctors and other nurses allegedly refused to cater to them on ground that even the ambulance driver at that place, he was not present, and even the key of the ambulance was not being located up to also the time meeting when they discovered the key. And on that note, about 10 to 11, while trying to get a referral to the John F. Kennedy hospital, the guy died en route, and that sparked the entire protest. So they are saying now the administrator of the hospital and that of the nursing directorate and the OIC should be changed on ground that they are not paying attention to their appointment.
Where are the two persons now? Where can you locate the medical nursing director and the medical officer?
They are set on duty, and one person that intervened into that situation is the Assistant Superintendent for Development, Bong County, Mr. Liberian Journalist, said that although life has been lost, but it gets a call on the young people to remain kind. And even prior to that, Mr. Ray managed to chat with the Chief Medical Director, Dr. Kessel, who also gave me assurance that they are doing everything possible to see how best this situation can be laid to rest. Because if you listen to all of their requests being made, this particular Bentonville hospital currently lacks electricity. Although they are being situated right within the terrain where the hydro is being positioned in Benton City, but they still can you imagine the hydro electricity jump from Bentonville and went to Kakata? So they are requesting,
All right.
one of the key requests that anything to see the need to provide electricity for the hospital, and then to see top official to be changed by the health ministry.
Thank you, George. Thank you. We'll be looking up to you to get more details about that situation in rural Massachusetts County, and later on probably you tell us how the electricity jumped from Bentonville to Kakata. ELBC Radio, the Papa Show moves on. We'll go back to our live studio guest as we also try to make contact later on with Paul Ramsey in Grand Judah County. So let's talk agriculture. Anybody who mentions, anybody who says anything about Bon Lofanima, they're talking about food, and then you don't want to be in either of the three counties and tell somebody in Monrovia, send me rice. You should be growing your own rice because the soil is good. Why our people stay depending on rice? And even if we depend on rice as our staple, why we don't have alternative or something that will come and intervene when there's no rice on the market?
Well, there are cross-cutting issues happening that are affecting agriculture. Now, back in the days, we never had the buy renter, and that's something that a lot of people are not considering. We had a lot of young people, young folks. Myself, I grew up on a farm. We used to farm, but migration, you got to leave, come to school in the city, and all that will affect farming. And then there are a lot of young people, potential young people are now doing back riding. This is something that all of us as a country need to pay attention to. What is there to encourage people that even if you stay riding back, you should still be making your little backyard garden?
Or even going to school.
That's another key thing that we need to pay attention to. There are a lot of people who have migrated. They're riding bikes and they're doing a lot of things. Bad road network. Even the few people who are still making farms, they stay planting better ball, they stay planting cassava. At a certain point in time, they get stuck. They don't have access to road to bring some of these, their locally produced commodities to the market. As we speak to you right now, Cocoa district is another productive district in Bong County. Cocoa is almost cut off now from Gbarnga as we speak.
Why?
Because of the rainy season. The road from Gbarnga to Cocoa is very bad. And people who are there, locals who are there producing, the local produce, they planting cassava, they planting better ball, they planting pepper. To get them now to Gbarnga is a challenge as we speak. And so, yes, it's good to encourage agriculture, but we should also be able to help to do the roads. And these things, some of them can be done locally. Government can come in, but some needs to be done locally. There's another issue about the rice issue. A few weeks ago, if I right now, it's still continuing. the shortage of rice and things like that. People will need to know that the country, we don't have to just depend on the rice. And I also agree with people who say that we should be able to diversify our diet. You can eat cassava sometimes, but provided the cassava is available. So farmers will also need to do mixed cropping. If you do farm, you don't just have to plant just rice. You have to put cassava, you have to put all the things that you can be able. Yam, for example, is something important too that we can be able to do. However, everything will also fall in the laps of the government. What is it there to help local farmers? There are farming cooperatives in the different counties, in the different communities. What is it happening to help these people to produce more? Extension officers should be assigned to these people. There should be funds available for these people to improve, to improve their productivity. So when you have a well-coordinated, activities going on, even though the number of farmers will be limited, but you could have a lot of people being encouraged to even go into farming. You have people graduating from the universities with degrees in agriculture, but they want to get jobs and sit in the offices. Many days I encourage people, when I even sit on radio, when I meet people in communities, especially those of our colleagues who earn degrees in agriculture, what's wrong with us organizing ourselves in groups of 5, 6, and establishing these smaller groups to help people and to even make farms? However, these things are only sustainable when you have real support coming. There are a lot of young people who are even so eager to venture into agriculture, but because the support is not forthcoming, local leaders will also need to make available lands for the young people or other farming groups that want to venture into agriculture. When these things are happening, with the support from the government, we have CARI right there in Gbarnga. So, yeah, CARI is a technical arm of the Ministry of Agriculture doing a lot of research and things. But how do you do research all the years and the very farmers around you, they're not feeling the impact? I mean, we need to gravitate. We need to change the narrative of the way we do farming.
All right. So we would like you to interact with Moses Billy. Moses is a Liberian journalist based in Bong County. He's familiar with the media terrain in central Liberia. Let me go to the social media. Prince Feasible, thank you, brother, for the show. Linda West, good day, producer. He has no barriers. He doesn't have JMB is the cleanest animal, meaning sheep. He's from I can't read this, too much disrespect to Joseph Boyka, who can continue with this. I'm following you from Grand Kitman County, Jenin Kemokai, Abasali, watching you from Vonjaman District, Vizela Town, the headquarters of the district, or even Vizela, the headquarters of the district.